They found her body in an alleyway in central Beirut. Tala was a Syrian trans woman who was murdered by far more than just weapons. She was murdered by a bureaucracy enveloped into an economy that was never made for her. Tala was queer, like me, and to be queer means that institutions, economies, laws, streets, houses are often not designed for you. Thinking about the economy queerly changes everything. What if I told you that the economy is not just about money? It's not just about how much you spend, how much you produce. It's about far more than just that. Let me take you to my home country, Lebanon, where I'm from. Often media back home would say queerness, sexuality, these are cultural issues. These are issues of morals, of tradition, of national identity. These are issues that have nothing to do with the system, with the economy, with the day-to-day life. Let's cut through the noise for a second, because if you look around you in your own society, in your own communities, who doesn't even get the chance or opportunity to build economic security, financial security, well, any semblance of safety whatsoever? It's often those who can't marry into legal protections. It's those who can't access safe housing. It's those who can't fall back onto familial support, familial wealth of any sort. But here's the thing, when we're talking about who gets to access wealth, who gets to access safety, the most bare minimum of human requirements, we're not just talking about some excluded group, some marginalized identity, some token of sort. We're actually talking about rethinking the entire foundation of how our economy has been designed. But you know, often people would come up to me, because I do work on this. This is my research on the side, and people would come up to me and say, hey, like, inclusion is happening already at a global scale. We have same-sex marriage, the decriminalization of same-sex relationships happening at a global scale, which I think is good. But to that, I would say, inclusion does not necessarily mean empowerment. Inclusion can legitimize power structures, authority that is violating queer bodies, but also all of our bodies. And you know, queer people don't really have the luxury of, waiting, of time. They don't have the time to wait for states to recognize them as human beings. They don't have the luxury to wait for economies to see them as far more than just some expendable labor. So they build parallel economies. They build financial circuits where in order to survive. Cash pooled between friends, shared housing, social housing, mutual aid, essentially capital confronted with intimacy. And you know, this always reminds me of what lesbian feminists have told us for decades, that the most radical thing we can do in times like this is to love. Love not just as an emotion or as an ethic, love as a revolutionary force, as a revolutionary economic force, love as a model that can produce what capitalism cannot even grapple with, economies of solidarity, economies of cooperativity, economies that are based on love and togetherness. And with that, I guess I would leave you with one final question. Will you continue to let the economy mold you, or will you queer it with your own hands? Thank you very much.